What's up, YouTube and Instagram? Fred here with Mountain Hatch. We're just going to talk about the last 3 weeks, what we've been doing. A lot of you know that we have to wear masks now, especially where we live. I think that's pretty much everywhere. So the reason I'm wearing a mask here at my house is because Greg is behind the camera, and it's just the right thing to do. Even though we've been working together every single day since this happened, we're just trying to be safe. So anyways, so I'm gonna go back 3 weeks. A lot of you saw the post we did when Greggy had an accident out in, and I'm sorry, I call him Greggy. His name is Greg, but I call him Greggy because he's my little brother. So Greggy was out in Glamis, and he was about 30 minutes from leaving. We had a great week there with a lot of our good buddies. We were celebrating a bachelor party, and Greggy caught a rut on a razor and basically tipped over, and his hand got sandwiched in between the roll bar and the windshield. Had a little piece of metal that stuck out about 1/8 of an inch or so, just enough to cut it, and cut his pinky right off, literally just hanging by skin. So that kicked off basically we got home. That's when all the quarantining started happening. It's really crazy. So we were in a hospital trying to get him fixed up with people sick, and it was just a nightmare. So it kind of like, it was pretty scary. It was like it was basically the worst 2 days of our lives. Greggy, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, not too bad.
So he's doing good. He's healing up. He's got a good scab there now on the side, and if you go on his Instagram and check it out, you can see a pretty good shot of what it looked like. But he's 9 fingers now, but there's no doubt he's going to catch more fish than anybody that we know, so which is pretty cool. So with all that, we just basically just hunkered down for a little bit. We kept doing Mountain Hatch, of course. We're still shipping product. We have to go to San Diego once a week. We wear masks, gloves. We ship out twice a week, so we're still cranking. But what it did is it kind of gave us some time to work on the trucks and get the trucks pretty much ready for the next trip whenever that happens. So we're going to show you a couple mods we did just the last 3 weeks, with Greggy being injured, not being able to do much, and the last week he's really been able to use that hand a lot better. But so first thing was we got some water ports going. We actually picked these up at Lightyear Designs. The Lightyear Designs, they basically make these awesome racks here for our rooftop tents, storage systems, and everything. So we picked 2 of these up. This is Greg's truck. This is his 2nd gen Tacoma. And we're just going to kind of go around and show you just some of the things we did and how we basically, organized our trucks for the next trip. Because I think that's a good thing to do. If you're planning on doing a trip when this all ends and getting outside, you take the time and prep, get your truck ready to go. So this is the water port here. He doesn't have water in his right now, but I'll come over here and I'll show you basically how easy it is to use. So when we go camping, we always have, fuel on the truck, and we both carry an extra thing of water in our roto packs. And these actually fit in the deck pretty well. Greg has his hanging up, and I actually keep mine in my deck, and then I just keep the fuel there. But what's cool about this water port is when you're pulling up to camp and the tailgate is literally dusty from the trail. This truck used to have a camper shell. So this is obviously the Lightyear. The Forged is the new accessory we just put on the truck right before the Adventure Expo. But what's cool about this water port here, my recommendation too is when you're on the trail, this comes right off. This actually holds holds it right on there. But on the trail, it would probably vibrate off. So we keep it in the Lightyear rack system, and it's just a quick little coupler that takes that off there. But what's cool about this is you just pre-pump it after there's water in it. The valves are on, and you can clean off your Mountain Hatch, your deck, your cooler, anything that's dusty on the trail. You can basically fill up your pots and pans and cook with it, clean off your dishes, everything. You can do flat spray, you can do center, misties, you can take a shower, whatever. So it's pretty awesome. So this is actually a really cool mod that we just did, and we're really stoked on it. So anyways, so that's one thing. So that was a mod we did. And then we literally just, right before Adventure Expo, this is probably what, Greg, 3.5, 4 weeks ago?
About 4 weeks.
We had a camper show on this truck. And the reason I did a camper show on this truck originally was because, for one, I was able to lock up all of our inventory when we went to expos and shows. So since the company has been around for almost 2 years now, we ended up purchasing a trailer, a cargo trailer. And now we don't have to store inventory in the truck anymore, which is pretty awesome. So I went with the Forged, which is their newer version. This is the older model, and this is what you'll see most of still, because this is so new, but this is the tubular version of the Lightyear rack. Greggy went with the 2 gear pods on the side. He's got his roto packs here, and then on this side over here, he has the big gear pods. And our setup's very similar. But what's cool about this system for us is we were already pretty organized, and now we literally have so much stuff that we have access to when we're on the trail that we would leave at home because it would just be jumbled up everywhere. So with this system, he's got his tools here. He's got his extra shoes here for camp. He's got his sleeping pad. Basically, he's got some utility stuff. He's got his chair in here. And what's cool about this is holds up just like that. You can keep it open when you're in camp. And you could set this up really any way you want to. So this is Greg's setup over here. Mine, very similar. I went with the 3 gear pods on the driver's side. And the reason I did that is because when I pull up to an expo or a show and we get ready to set up, I usually have the driver's side of the truck on the outside of the booth. So when I pull up, the passenger side is my display. So when we put the tailgate down and get all the stuff out. So this stuff's more utility. So I got my DeWalt tool bag here. And I don't even know how it's going to be set up. I got my boots here for when I'm camping. And then, of course, extra hats. We like the little rock crawlers, so we bring little rock crawlers with us. Sometimes we bring our bigger ones. And then on this side, over here, I have the big gear pod. So Greg and I, basically, we're just opposite. So this holds my front runner chair, our Deadman off-road recovery system, and my sleeping bag, which is really cool. And this is gonna be changed out constant. Like if I do a show and we're all going to Virginia for Expo East, obviously this is all gonna come out and we're gonna have just stuff on display for when people come up to the show and our knives, cutting boards, whatever. But it's just gonna be so cool to use this and for camping, but also for when we do expos and stuff, and people can check it out, which is really cool. Also, we run decked drawer systems, and this is all we had before. And what's cool about these is they come up with these little, you can get these extra, and this is all we had before was these deck drawer systems. And then I had the camper, and then Greggy was pretty much exposed with, he had an All-Pro rack, and then he did a Tacoma Apocalypse. But this system here just allows you to do so much. But I got my jet boil in here. Yeah, we don't do fire starters like the cavemen do. We actually use these guys sometimes. I guess every once in a while we play around with it. My extra knives here. I got my light that hangs up for at night when I'm cooking. Yes, don't make fun of our coffee, but sometimes we rock Folgers. But you know what? It gets the job done. So that just sits right in there, which is really cool. And then this side of the deck, and Greg's and I are very similar in a way, but so we do a lot of hunting and fishing, but these are my binos I keep in here. I always have some shower pouches, just in case we get stinky on the trail. And I just kind of keep these in the box they came in because they don't hurt anything. And then what's cool about these little guys, in a full-size truck, the deck actually has 2 drawers that are the same size. In a Tacoma or a mid-size, like a Gladiator, Frontier, whatever, this side's all a little smaller. But what's cool is I got my tire deflator here, snatch block, sledgehammer, recovery points, if you got to change some oil, whatever, flashlight, stuff like that. And it just keeps everything super, super accessible. That way it's not flying around. For the longest time, I didn't have these. And I'd pull the drawer out and literally everything would be jumbled. Sorry for the background noise. I got some, actually put this over here. I'll show you what's in this one. This is my secondary. And then this one's just got more tools. So T30s, obviously for doing installs at shows and stuff. Any type of Allens. Got my buck knife here. I got the socket set here. Jumper cables and recovery straps are also back in that deck there, which we do use quite often, actually. One of the other new mods that we've done for the truck is Greg on his second gen was running. So I've had Max Tracks, and then Greggy had Smittybilt, and the Smittybilts were good, but we did notice that when we were in snow and they were really tight, they'd get, or the I don't know what it was, but I guess the cold created like little cracks with the Tacoma. So we ended up just destroying those. And not to say they're not good, but Max Tracks are definitely worth their money. So Greggy, we just installed his on his Fruit Runner, and that's a new mod we just did. So Greggy's running the OD green and black Max Tracks now, and he's got those hooked up there on the Front Runner, which is really cool. And then on my side, we're running orange and red. So just because of course, Mountain Hatch colors. So, but Greg, we got to get those worn down because they look too new.
Exactly.
Here, Greg and I are still very old school. We use coolers. We don't use fridges. And we've thought about doing a Dometic or something like that, ARB, whatever, but for us, it just takes up so much space in the truck. And honestly, with these Canyon coolers and a block of ice, we're good. Geez, Greg, we had Super Bowl Sunday at my house. This is no joke. And I posted this on the story a while back. We had Super Bowl Sunday at my house, full of beer, full of drinks. And then I basically left that cooler in the backyard that whole next week, okay? Now keep in mind, it's February. I get it, it's not super hot. But we went to King of the Hammers the weekend after, and I did not have to restock my ice in the cooler. Came home from King of the Hammers, and we were in the desert, got a little warm. Came home from King of the Hammers, put it on the front porch, and no joke, 3 to 4 days later, I opened it up, there was still ice in it. That was almost 2 weeks of ice. These coolers they're freaking incredible. Like, I don't know what they do differently than everybody else.
The ice is still in there from Super Bowl Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But we love this product. We partnered with these guys, but we were customers before we partnered with them. No joke. And their coolers are just absolutely incredible. This is not a new mod. This is something we've been running, but it's here. And then Greg runs the CVT Rooftop Tent on the top of his, and I had a CVT, but because of the weight, mine was really huge. I use an Australian-style swag tent now that rolls out. It's got a built-in pad, and more on that in the next couple months. So we'll talk about that a little further later on. One of the other new mods we just did, and my Tacoma, actually Greggy's has a little more gadgetry than mine. Mine's pretty simple, but we just picked up the Midland USA, what are they called? The 400, the two-way CB radios. Here, let me get the actual model number for you guys. So we just picked these up. They're the 400, let's see here. What are they called? The MXT 400.
The MXT 400.
MXT 400 comes with basically everything. So what we ended up doing was we installed these today, actually, and we basically mounted ours on the same side, ran all the cable through, went through the firewall, and then ran it around the whole engine bay, because what they said not to do is when you have extra antenna wire, they don't want you to, zip tie it all together if you have extra.
Bunch it up.
So we basically just used every bit of it to get to our endpoint. So this is a 3 decibel antenna, and we actually installed it here. It just seemed like a good place to go. And we are going to experiment with the 6 decibel also, which is going to be about 32 inches high. It'll give us a little more range, but for now, we're going to rock these and see how they do. We're super stoked on these. And Greg's is a little more hidden because Greggy's running an SOS Concepts front bumper. So his is actually right here on the back side. But we got those installed today after we shipped out, which was really cool. And we're super pumped. So basically, this 3 weeks has really let us have the time to obviously work, but also to get some stuff done on the trucks that we needed to get done. One of the other mods we did was I have an Icon Stage 4, and I just bumped up the spring load to 700 pounds because I was getting a little bit of, was washing out a little bit in some dips. So I just upgraded that. JH Garage installed that down in Orange County area. Yeah. So he installed that. Now the truck sits up a little higher and I'm not having any rubs. I haven't really gotten to test it yet, just because we can't go anywhere. We're so tempted to, but we got to kind of stay put. But I just feel like the way the truck sits up now, I don't think I'm going to have any issues with rub on the plastic now. It just definitely sits up a lot higher. With that being said, just super pumped on the water port. We really can't wait to use these on the trail. Just for cooking, it's going to make it so much easier having that water just be able to squirt right there on the tailgate. So like I said, we're running both of those right now. Super pumped about this Lightning rack. Haven't even got to use it really. I mean, literally we did the Adventure Expo, 3.5 weeks ago or so, and brought it home, and it's literally been sitting in the garage ever since. So it's just kind of crazy times right now, and as much as we want to go, you do some fishing or just get outside. I know everyone's chomping at the bit to do that. We just got to kind of stay put and wait this thing out and be smart, so we're not spreading it to other people that are more likely to get it. Anything else, Greg? Am I forgetting on the trucks?
No. If you guys are interested in the water port, you can get them on Lightyear website. It comes with an easy, quick release kind of plate that you can mount
And this actually,
basically anywhere on the Lightyear rack.
yeah, and I think this actually doesn't go that way. I think it goes like this. Oh no! I pulled the quick release. You know what? This is just real life TV is what this is.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do what I just did. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. My butt's about to get wet now. All right, that was my fault. Like I said, I haven't really used this yet, but this thing just hangs on there. But Greg, go under here real quick so I can show them. It has these two little shutoffs right here. So what you want to do is, right now, if you're going to unplug that, let's just say we're going to go hit the trail. So I'm going to basically get all the water out of that. I'm going to pull this quick release, okay? Kind of let the water come out of it, because I don't want that falling off on the trail. There's no point. So let all the water come out by pushing this little spigot here, and then throw it in the back of the truck, throw it in the deck. That way it's done. And then it's basically ready to rock and roll, whatever you want to do.
Just don't forget this little guy.
Yep, pull that off too. This thing will pop off. This is just for when you're using it. So make sure you take that off when you get it. But super cool little mod. I don't know what I'm more stoked on, whether it's the, oh, Greggy's phone's ringing, or maybe it's mine.
That's your phone.
Oh, yeah, it's no biggie. So I don't know what I'm more stoked on is the water port or the radios, to be honest, because the ham radios, they suck to charge in your truck if you've ever experienced that. I think everyone pretty much has. There's just, if it plugged into the back, it'd be cool, but you have to put it on that little stand. It always falls in your truck. So Midland USA, thanks so much for getting those out so fast. That was awesome. And then also the Max Tracks, man, like running the Smitty builds was fine, but I think these are going to be night and day, and we really have put ours to the test. We did a lot of track building last winter in some pretty sketchy situations, so we're super stoked on that. But like I said, this is a good time for everyone to kind of, if you have time to get and get out to your truck and do those little mods that you want to do. I think it's just good to get the truck ready. It's almost like a restart for your truck. Pull everything out, organize it, get it ready to go, and that way you're ready for when this is over. Because I know it's going to be a mad dash for the hills as soon as this whole thing blows over. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Anything else, Greg, you want to add?
No, I think that's it. We're planning on some fishing trips and some hunting trips coming up when hunting season starts.
Yeah, we're hoping in May we're going to get out
back to the grind.
Start filming the next series of our little YouTube venture. So also don't forget 20% off right now if you use code United 2020. We've teamed up with some really cool companies. If you go a couple posts back and we're all donating the portions of that to the Cure Foundation, just to kind of help out with everything going on. So it's going to be for a good cause, but also it keeps these small businesses going, and that's why we're all pushing to have these sales right now, because it's scary times for a lot of companies. So but anyways, thanks for tuning in, and please hit that subscribe button. We got more adventures coming. Thanks.